Welcome to Stepdad Success, turning the tide on the way stepdads are seen and show up in the world. We're a new breed of leaders raising leaders. Blood or no blood, we raise them as our own. We're connected, loving, and committed to leading them into the future. If you asked a normal dad, he'd say we're doing the impossible. He'd say, but they're not yours. How do you do it? Yet every day, stepdads around the world are forging the way. That's what we call Stepdad Success. We're leaders raising leaders. And these are our stories. Good morning, this is James Klobassa from Stepdad Success, and hello there stepdads. I hope you're having an awesome day. But I tell you what, some days aren't great, and today I want to talk about challenging the challenges that you come up against. Whoo-wee! It's been a crazy couple of weeks for me. I've been super busy. As you may know, I live on the Sunshine Coast of Australia. It's a beautiful place. I love hanging out here. I love coming home here. And I also love traveling. I love getting to the States, and I get to the States 3 or 4 times a year, and I have been for years now. Probably, even back in my water skiing days, I was going a couple of times a year, at least once a year. And then since I've changed over to the business realm, in the last 9 years, I would have been going 3 or 4 times a year, all of those years. So I don't know how many trips I've had to the States. A lot. And I still love it. But sometimes we get challenged. And the last 2 weeks has been that. I'm currently got a lot of work on at the moment. Clients, building businesses, launching products, all that sort of stuff. That's what I do in my off time. But I also, how can I put this? I also need to get to the States. I've promised myself, as I've been talking about lately in these podcasts, I have promised myself a surf trip. I've also promised my family a trip, and I need to get to the States twice. And all of these, there's 4 trips. So Bali, the Maldives, and the States twice. Now, I kind of didn't think about this as I was pushing into this last quarter of the year, or kind of this last 4 or 5 months, but they all fall within a 2-month window. 2.5 months, actually. Now, as you can imagine, that means a lot of time away from home. That means a lot of time away from family, the boys. It means a lot of logistics. It means expenses. It means a lot of traveling. Often traveling can be hard on the body. And, why am I bringing all this up? Because often we have to challenge why we're doing things, how committed we are. It would be easy for me to say, well, I just can't afford it, or I just don't have the time, or, I don't want to be away from the kids that long. But I'm going for growth. I'm challenging myself in the surf trip that I'm going on. I'm extending to the depth of our relationship with the family trip we're going on. And I'm challenging myself with 2 different business trips. So, we have to ask ourselves why. And I was thinking about this all this morning, and I laid it all out. It's 15 grand in expenses, and probably a bit more actually than that, 20 grand in expenses. And I'm thinking, what am I learning here out of this challenge? What's the key distinction here? Do I need to go on all of these trips? Which trip is most important? What am I going to learn from each of the trips? How's that going to progress me forward and progress my family forward, my legacy forward? If we're looking at all these separate items, they're challenging me across the board in body, being, balance, and business. Challenging who I am, who I'm going to become. Challenging me in fitness. Challenging me in balance in my family and my relationships, deepening those. It's challenging me in business to come up with the funds, to have the extra funds. We get challenges like this every single day. They may not be as big as this, or they may be bigger for you. The size of the challenge doesn't matter. It's the consideration and the thought we put into why. And as I've spoken about in past podcasts, what are the facts of the matter? What are the feelings behind each of these challenges? And the challenge as a whole, pulling off all four. What's the focus here? Is the focus family or fitness, business, or all of them together? And then what's the fruit? What would be the fruit if I took all 4 trips? What would be the fruit if I just took one of the trips and stayed at home the rest of the time? Or 2 of the trips? It's easy to say, the simple answer is, we don't have time, we don't have money, I don't want to travel that much. They're the simple answers, but we have to challenge ourselves and ask ourselves, how committed are we? How committed are we to actually pulling it all off? Living the warrior's way is about having it all. And for me, I was considering this morning, and I asked myself a question. I simply asked, can I have it all? Can I pull off the family trip and the surf trip? Then the 2 trips to the States. Can I pull it all off? Can I have it all? And the answer was yes, for me personally. Now, of course, there's a lot of other people to consider in this, and I will, discuss that with the people involved. But of course, if we can't, choose that for ourselves, then we can't explain that to anyone else. We can't convince anyone else or have anyone else join us on board with the bigger mission that's actually taking place. It's easy to say no to a trip, but I'm not saying no to a trip. I'm saying no to a bigger period of growth. I want you to consider this today for your own challenges. It may be something completely different. It may be a simple challenge. It may be a huge challenge. But think about all the aspects across body, being, balance, and business. How does it affect each of those areas in your challenge? You saying no to something rather than actually finding a way through. Living the warrior's way is about having it all. And I challenge you to do that today. Also, I just wanted to let you know, I am currently running a 4-dimensional man training, and this is based on the Warriors, Living the Warrior's Way. If you'd like to hear more about that, please reach out to me. You can contact me via the website. Otherwise, just drop me an email, and I'd be glad to talk to you. Thanks very much for listening. Would you like to learn more about how stepdads across the globe are joining forces in raising the next generation of leaders? Then head to www.stepdadsuccess.com and grab all the show notes plus a copy of the brand new tactical guide for creating more happiness, health, wealth, and wisdom as a stepdad. And if you liked the podcast, please share it with other stepdads you know and leave us a review on iTunes. Again, that's www.stepdadsuccess.com for all the show notes and tactical guide. Come and join the new breed of stepdads, the growing group of leaders raising leaders.